Let's get right into it today. We're taking a deep dive into all the ways we can boost our brain power.
Ooh, brain power.
Yeah, who wouldn't want that, right?
Absolutely.
And, our listeners sent in some super interesting stuff.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, primarily some excerpts from the Paste text, which is a guide all about Dr. Hassan al-Waraki's method.
Interesting.
So we're going to be exploring some really cool stuff, like
Yeah.
a 7-minute brain activation routine,
Okay.
the link between fasting and brain health,
Interesting.
and even the power of honey.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, so jump right in with this 7-minute routine.
Okay.
7 minutes to a sharper mind.
Sounds almost too good to be true.
I know, right?
Right.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you can think of it kind of like a targeted warm-up for your brain. These 7 activities are designed to engage different cognitive areas.
Okay.
So we're talking about memory, math skills, and even observation.
Oh.
Yeah, and each activity is really short, but when they're combined together,
Yeah.
they pack a punch.
So walk me through it.
Okay.
What kind of things are we talking about?
So you start off by just taking a few deep breaths, just to center yourself and improve focus. Then we move on to some cross-body movements.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this helps with coordination and gets your blood flowing a little bit. Then there's some memory recall exercises, to strengthen that mental muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Quick math challenges to fire up those neurons.
Okay.
And some visualization techniques.
Visualization.
Yes.
So more than just daydreaming.
Definitely more than just daydreaming.
Okay.
For example, one of the things you might do is visualize a familiar room and try to mentally list every object in that room.
Okay.
This really puts your spatial memory to the test.
Interesting.
Which is the part of your brain that helps you navigate.
Right.
Remember where you left your keys?
Oh, yeah.
And even picture objects from different angles.
So it's like building a mental map
Exactly.
of your surroundings.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be so helpful in everyday life.
It is.
Okay, so let's move on to something that really caught my eye when I was looking through this.
Okay.
Is Dr. Hassan al-Waraki's method,
Yeah?
which incorporates fasting and honey for brain health.
Interesting.
Honey part sounds delicious,
It does.
but I got to know about the science behind it.
Sure.
What's going on there?
Well, honey, particularly raw honey, like Manuka honey, is packed with antioxidants. And those are crucial for protecting brain cells from damage.
Okay.
And it's also been linked to things like improved focus, memory, and even sleep quality.
Wait, honey can help you sleep better.
That's what they're saying.
I am all ears. Tell me more.
So honey contains compounds that encourage the production of melatonin,
Right.
which is our natural sleep hormone. So having a spoonful of honey before bed can actually promote relaxation and deeper sleep. But there's also another really fascinating aspect of honey for brain health.
Oh, what's that?
Which is that it supports a healthy gut microbiome.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me more about that because I've heard about the gut-brain connection.
Yeah.
But I never really thought about honey's role in it.
Right. Well, so it's increasingly recognized that the gut microbiome plays a huge role in our overall brain health.
Yeah.
So how exactly does a healthy gut translate to a healthier brain?
So it's a complex relationship.
Right.
But essentially, the bacteria in our gut produce neurotransmitters that directly affect our mood, our focus, and even our cognitive function.
Wow.
So when our gut microbiome is balanced and thriving, it sends these positive signals to the brain, which can lead to better mental clarity and overall well-being.
That is incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
Honey is starting to sound like a brain-boosting superhero.
Yeah, it kind of is.
But now let's tackle the maybe a little bit more challenging aspect of Dr. al-Waraki's method.
Which is fasting for brain power.
Right.
I have to admit. Intentionally not eating for brain health.
Yeah.
Seems a little counterintuitive.
I can see why you'd think that.
Yeah. Wouldn't depriving your brain of energy have a negative effect?
So that's actually a common misconception.
Okay.
While it might seem counterintuitive, research actually suggests that fasting can trigger several beneficial changes in the brain. So one of the key benefits is increased production of BDNF.
BDNF.
Yeah.
You're going to have to break that down for me.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Because I'm not totally up to speed on the brain lingo.
No problem. So BDNF stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
Okay.
And it's basically like fertilizer for your brain.
Okay.
It promotes the growth and survival of neurons and plays a key role in learning and memory.
So is it related to brain plasticity at all?
It is. So brain plasticity refers to the brain's incredible ability to change and adapt throughout life.
Okay.
It's like the brain's ability to rewire itself and form new connections.
So fasting is boosting our brain's ability to learn and adapt.
That's the idea.
Fascinating.
It is really cool, and the benefits don't even stop there.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. So fasting has also been shown to boost mental clarity, reduce brain inflammation,
Interesting.
enhance memory and learning,
Wow.
elevate your mood,
Great.
and even stimulate a process called autophagy.
All right, you got to tell me about autophagy. What's going on there?
Okay, so imagine your brain cells have these tiny little recycling centers
Okay.
that break down damaged components and toxins. That's basically autophagy in a nutshell.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the brain's way of clearing out the clutter and keeping things running smoothly.
Okay.
And this process becomes even more efficient during periods of fasting.
Wow.
Yeah, leading to a healthier and more resilient brain.
So it's like giving your brain a deep clean.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Now, I'm assuming we're not talking about like a week-long starvation here.
Right.
What kind of fasting are we talking about?
So the guide mentions a variety of fasting types that can be beneficial.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting, where you cycle between periods of eating and not eating, is one popular approach.
Okay.
There's also alternate day fasting.
Right.
And even fasting on specific days of the week.
Okay.
But of course, it's always best to consult with your doctor
Right.
before making any major dietary changes.
Yeah, and that's important.
Especially if you have any underlying health conditions.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So we've covered the 7-minute brain activation routine.
Right.
This surprising duo of honey and fasting.
Yeah.
What other brain-boosting techniques does Dr. El-Raki have up his sleeve?
Well, next up, we have a whole arsenal of targeted brain training exercises
Bring on the brain training.
designed to sharpen specific cognitive skills.
Tell me more.
So the guide breaks these exercises down into 4 main categories.
Okay.
Memory improvement,
Okay.
focus and attention building,
Got it.
mental skills enhancement, and physical exercises that benefit brain health.
So it's really the whole picture.
It is, yeah.
All right, so let's start with memory improvement.
Okay.
What kind of activities are we talking about?
Think of it as a mental gym for your memory. We've got techniques like memorizing numbers, which challenges your working memory and forces you to rely less on technology.
Right.
Then there's the story method.
Ooh, the story method.
Yeah, where you create narratives to link pieces of information you want to remember.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It is. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Makes it more engaging and memorable.
I can see how weaving a story around information would make it stick better.
It does, yeah. It taps into the brain's natural love for narratives.
Hmm.
Another powerful technique is the memory palace.
Ooh, I've heard of that one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this involves associating information with locations in a familiar place,
Right.
like your home. So you essentially create a mental map of information.
Yeah, it sounds very Sherlock Holmes.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this makes it much easier to retrieve it later.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to focus and attention building.
Okay.
In today's world of constant distractions,
Right.
I think we could all use a little help with that.
Absolutely. And the guide provides a great toolkit for sharpening those skills.
Okay, good.
So it recommends practices like mindful reading.
Mindful reading.
Yes, where you fully engage with the text
Okay.
without letting your mind wander.
Right.
And then afterwards, you try to summarize what you've read without looking back, which strengthens both your focus and your memory.
Okay, I will admit I am definitely guilty of skimming.
I think we all are.
Yeah, and multitasking while reading.
It's hard not to.
It is, but this sounds like a good challenge.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What else helps with focus?
Another key technique is single tasking.
Single tasking.
The art of focusing on one thing at a time. It might seem simple, but in today's hyper-connected world, it's a skill that requires practice and intention.
Right, and discipline.
It does.
It's funny how something that sounds so simple can be such a hard thing to do these days.
I know, it's true.
Okay, what other focus sharpening techniques does the guide recommend?
Well, there's also object tracking.
Object tracking.
Yeah, you follow multiple moving objects with your eyes.
Okay.
This is a great way to enhance your visual attention skills. And it can even be a fun exercise to do like in a park or in a crowded area.
I can see how that would be a challenge.
It's fun, though,
Yeah.
trying to keep track of multiple things at once.
Yeah, definitely keeps your brain alert.
It does, it does. And of course, there's meditation.
Right.
which has been shown to improve focus, reduce stress, and even promote brain plasticity.
Meditation seems to be like
It's everywhere.
the brain booster du jour.
Yeah, and for good reason.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, even a few minutes of meditation each day can make a big difference in your ability to focus and manage stress.
Yeah. And speaking of techniques for managing focus and time,
Yeah.
have you ever tried the Pomodoro technique?
The Pomodoro technique, yeah, I have.
Remind me how that one works.
So it's a pretty simple time management method
Right.
where you work in focus bursts of 25 minutes, separated by short breaks.
Okay.
It's a great way to kind of break down larger tasks and maintain concentration
Right.
without getting too overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. I've tried that out before.
Yeah,
I remember those 25-minute bursts felt so long at first.
they do it first.
Yeah. But I really did find that it helped me stay on track and avoid getting bogged down
It's a good one.
in a single task for too long.
It is a good one, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next category
Right.
of brain training exercises.
Okay.
Mental skills enhancement.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This sounds like the ultimate brain workout.
It kind of is.
What kind of activities fall under this umbrella?
So this category is all about engaging your brain in diverse and stimulating ways. So we're talking about things like solving puzzles, playing strategy games like chess,
Right.
picking up a new language,
Wow.
learning a musical instrument,
Okay.
and even exploring creative writing.
So it's really anything that challenges your
Sure.
brain in a different way.
Anything that you're not already doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by learning a new language.
Yeah.
What are the benefits there?
Learning a new language is like a full brain workout.
Wow.
So it expands your vocabulary,
Okay.
improves your multitasking abilities,
Interesting.
enhances your memory,
Hmm.
and even strengthens your ability to focus and concentrate.
I've always wanted to be fluent in another language.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's encouraging to know that it's not just a valuable life skill,
Right.
but also a powerful brain booster.
It really is.
So research has shown that it increases gray matter in the brain,
Yes,
which is associated with cognitive function.
that's right.
Okay, on to the final category.
Okay.
Physical exercises for brain health.
Right.
I'm a big believer in exercise, but I'm curious about this specific connection
Yeah.
between movement and a sharper mind.
So the connection between physical activity and brain health
Yeah.
is very well established.
Mm.
The guide highlights 2 types of exercises
Okay.
that are particularly beneficial:
Okay.
finger exercises and cross-body movements.
Finger exercises like playing the piano.
Exactly.
Oh, I never thought of that as brain training, but it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So things like playing the piano, practicing sign language, or even engaging in finger yoga can enhance dexterity,
Right.
improve fine motor skills,
Right.
and even stimulate brain areas that are involved in language memory and sensory processing.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It is. It's really cool.
What about cross-body movements?
So activities like dancing Tai Chi and even some types of yoga
Right.
involve coordinating movements across both sides of the body,
Right.
which challenges your brain and improves coordination, balance, and spatial awareness.
So getting your whole body involved.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay. So before we wrap up,
Right.
I want to touch on those additional brain-boosting elements
Yeah.
that are mentioned in the guide.
Okay.
Digital brain training specialized programs and daily habits for cognitive enhancement.
Sounds good.
Let's start with digital brain training.
Okay.
What's the verdict on brain training apps and games?
Well, it's important to approach digital brain training with a balanced perspective.
Okay.
You know, while there are some excellent apps and online platforms out there,
Right.
they offer really engaging brain training exercises.
Yeah.
They're not a magic bullet.
So they're not going to turn us into geniuses overnight.
Probably not. No.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. What should we keep in mind
Yeah.
when using these tools?
The key is to choose really high-quality programs and use them as a supplement to other brain-boosting activities,
Got it.
not as a replacement for them.
Right. So it's like one tool in your cognitive toolbox,
Exactly.
but not the whole toolbox.
Right.
Okay. What about specialized programs?
Okay.
The guide mentioned programs tailored for seniors, students and individuals with ADHD. What makes these programs unique?
So these programs take a more targeted approach.
Okay.
So they tailor exercises to
Right.
the specific needs and challenges of each group.
Got it.
So for example, programs for seniors might focus on activities that combine physical and cognitive challenges, promote social interaction,
Okay.
and support memory function.
It sounds like these programs really recognize that our brains have different needs.
They do.
At different stages of life.
It's true.
Okay, let's move on to daily habits for cognitive enhancement.
All right.
I have a feeling this is where the lifestyle component comes in.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not just about specific exercises or programs. It's about cultivating habits that support overall brain health.
So tell me about those habits.
Sure. So this includes nourishing your brain with a healthy diet, staying well hydrated, and prioritizing lifestyle factors like sleep, exercise, and stress management.
So a very holistic approach.
Exactly.
To well-being.
Yes.
Okay, so let's break down those key areas.
All right.
Starting with diet. What kind of foods should we be eating?
So when we talk about brain-boosting foods,
Yeah.
we're talking about foods that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
Like fatty fish walnuts and flax seeds.
Got it.
These healthy fats are so crucial for building and maintaining brain cell membranes, which are essential for communication between neurons.
So like giving our brains the building blocks they need
Exactly.
to function properly.
Yeah.
What about antioxidants?
Right. So antioxidants are like tiny little warriors
Okay.
that protect your brain cells from damage caused by free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage cells and contribute to aging and disease.
So the antioxidants are neutralizing those harmful agents.
Exactly. That can lead to inflammation and cognitive decline.
Where do we find these antioxidants?
So colorful fruits and vegetables are packed with antioxidants.
Okay.
The more vibrant your plate, the better.
I like that.
Yeah. So think berries, leafy greens, brightly colored peppers.
So we're talking like eating the rainbow.
Exactly, eat the rainbow.
Right. Okay, let's talk about hydration.
Okay.
We all know we need to drink water.
Yes. Okay.
But tell me about that connection between hydration and brain power.
Staying well hydrated is absolutely crucial for brain function.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Our brains are about 80% water.
Wow.
Yeah. So even mild dehydration can lead to brain fog, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. Think of it this way. Without adequate hydration, your brain cells can't communicate effectively.
Okay.
And that leads to those mental hiccups that we all experience when we're thirsty.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely experienced that.
I think we all have.
When I haven't had enough water.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about sleep.
Right.
We all know how groggy we feel after a bad night's sleep.
For sure.
But what's actually happening in our brains when we don't get enough rest?
So sleep is essential for several crucial brain functions, including memory consolidation, learning, and emotional regulation. So when we sleep, our brains are actually hard at work.
Oh.
Yeah, they're processing information, forming new connections, and clearing out toxins.
So it's like our brain's nighttime job.
Exactly. It's like overnight maintenance.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really important.
What happens if we don't get enough sleep?
If we consistently skimp on sleep, it can really negatively impact our cognitive abilities, our mood, and our overall well-being. It's like running your brain on an empty tank.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, eventually it's going to start sputtering and malfunctioning.
Okay, last but not least, exercise.
All right.
We already talked about the benefits, but I always love to hear more about that connection between movement and a sharper mind.
It's a powerful connection.
So what's the latest science?
So regular exercise has been shown to have a huge impact on brain health. It improves blood flow to the brain, stimulates the growth of new brain cells, and enhances cognitive function across the board.
So it's like a multivitamin for our brains.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, what's going on when we get our bodies moving?
So when we exercise, our brains release a cascade of beneficial chemicals, including BDNF, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
This boost in BDNF helps to strengthen existing brain cells.
Okay.
And it promotes the growth of new ones.
Wow.
Essentially making our brains more resilient and adaptable.
I'm ready to go for a run right now.
Me too.
And I imagine exercise is a great stress reliever as well.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, which is another key factor.
Absolutely.
In maintaining a healthy brain.
A less stressed brain is a healthier, more focused, and more resilient brain.
It all comes back to that.
It does.
All right, so let's shift gears to the final section of the guide. Tips for success. You know, it's wonderful to learn about all these different techniques.
It is.
But I can imagine it can be a little overwhelming.
Right.
To try to incorporate it all at once.
It can be a lot.
So what advice does the guide offer for putting this knowledge into action?
So the guide emphasizes the importance of taking a gradual and sustainable approach. to brain health. It's not about trying to do everything at once.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you and making small, consistent changes over time.
That sounds much more manageable.
It is.
What are some of the key tips?
Well, the guide highlights several key strategies for making brain-boosting practices a part of your life. So it emphasizes starting gradually, being consistent, incorporating variety, taking breaks, celebrating progress, combining exercises, staying socially connected, and continually challenging yourself with new skills.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot, right?
But it's a good roadmap.
It is, yeah.
Of all those tips, which one do you think is the most crucial?
I think consistency is key.
Consistency.
Yeah, it's just like physical exercise. You wouldn't expect to see results after just one workout.
Right.
The same principle applies to brain training. The more consistently you engage in these activities, the more likely you are to see lasting improvements in your cognitive abilities.
So can you share an example of how that actually works?
Absolutely. So there's a really fascinating study involving London taxi drivers that highlights this principle.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I have to memorize
the whole city.
The whole city map.
Yeah.
Without GPS.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
So researchers actually found that the hippocampus, the brain region involved in spatial memory, was actually larger in London taxi drivers than in control subjects.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the longer they had been driving, the larger their hippocampus tended to be.
So their brains were literally adapting.
They were?
And growing.
Yeah.
In response to the demands of their job.
It's amazing what the brain can do.
Yeah, it really is a testament
to
the brain's plasticity.
Absolutely.
So we really do have the power.
We do.
To shape our brains.
Yeah.
Through our actions and habits.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. As we wrap up our deep dive into the world of boosting brain power, I want to leave our listeners with a question. Of all the techniques we discussed, which one resonated with you the most?
Yeah, which one are you going to try?
And what small step can you take today to start putting that knowledge into action?
I love that. What a great challenge for everyone.
Yeah, so reflect on what you've learned.
Take a moment. And choose one technique that sparks your curiosity or aligns with your current goals. It could be something as simple as incorporating that 7-minute brain activation routine into your morning. Or swapping out sugary drinks for a glass of water. Adding a spoonful of honey to your evening tea. Or maybe committing to a 20-minute walk in nature.
Those are all great starting points.
They are.
And remember, even small, consistent actions.
Yes, consistency.
Can have a really big impact on your brain health over time.
For sure.
So start small.
Be patient.
Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, and celebrate your progress.
I love that.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, and as we learned today, there are so many fun and engaging ways to nourish your brain.
Absolutely.
And unlock your cognitive potential.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
This was fun.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.